Bye Biden. Sources now saying Joe is on the go because the Democratic Party is no longer riding with Biden. And apparently he's going to say, no way, Jorge, to Kamala. That's right, no endorsement for Heels Up Harris, but instead endorsing an open convention. Welcome to the Midnight Manifest. I'm your host, Mark, and it is the Midnight Hour. Here's a Newsmax clip that's been circulating around. Let me play that for you.
Carl, according to multiple Democratic sources, this is happening all of a sudden. Everyone said it would happen gradually and then all at once, and that's what's happening. According to my sources, President Biden has agreed to step down as the Democratic nominee.
Oh, man.
It will happen as early as this weekend. A speech has been drafted for him. He will continue on as president, is his intention. He also will not, I'm told, endorse Vice President Harris as his successor. They're hoping that he will endorse an open process in which the convention will be open to Vice President Harris and a few other candidates in Chicago to pick the Democratic nominee for president. The belief is that Vice President Harris is already looking at potential running mates to go to Chicago with a full ticket, including one possibility, Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, and perhaps the governor of Pennsylvania, Governor Shapiro. Other possible candidates who are being talked about include Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, perhaps Gretchen Whitmer, and again, the vice president running. On the first ballot, the regular delegates would be allowed to vote under this agreement that's being talked about amongst the president and high-level Democratic officials. The regular delegates would vote on the first ballot. If there is no winner on the first ballot, the so-called super delegates would be allowed to vote on the subsequent ballot. This decision was reached, I'm told, all of a sudden because of the high-level pressure from Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, and others, and as well as the decision of many of President Biden's top aides that there was no path forward for him, that he would not be able to win this election, win the general election, and therefore he's stepping aside again as early as this weekend.
Reports coming out last night that the Biden campaign is now on hold. Joe Biden is apparently held up somewhere in Delaware after testing positive for COVID, which is another bullshit story as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't have COVID. He's just running and hiding. Now, what happens to all the money? They've raised hundreds of millions of dollars for the Biden-Harris campaign. What happens to that? Well, I got a Bill O'Reilly clip I want to play where he breaks it down a little for you.
Democratic machine has raised about $250 million. All right? Most of that money is in political action committees. This is by law. Okay, you can only give, I think, $4,000 to an individual candidate, but you can give up to, I mean, it's an astronomical amount to the political action committees. No one outside of Kamala Harris can get access to that money if Biden doesn't run. She can. Not all the money, but a lot of it. Just that alone. And can you imagine a Democratic Party saying, we don't want the woman of color? Can't do it. Can't do it. All right, so she's in. She's going to run against Trump. So summing up, it's coming soon. I don't know when.
So it looks like at the convention we're going to basically have Kamala Harris and maybe a handful of other people trying to get the nomination. I agree with Bill O'Reilly. I think it's most likely going to be Kamala. But Kamala is almost as bad as Joe Biden, if not worse, up against Trump. So I don't know that the Democrats want to go from the frying pan into the fire. So we might end up getting some surprises at the convention. No matter how it turns out, this is going to be interesting. I'm more interested in watching what the Democrats do than I was in watching what the Republicans do. We already knew what the Republicans were going to do. We already knew Trump got the nomination. What's going to happen at the Democratic convention? Who the fuck knows? But I'm going to have my popcorn. I'm going to be watching it. We might get a surprise candidate in there. I don't know how they're going to do that with the campaign money. But like I've said before, Democrats, they make up the rules as they go along. They don't follow any rules or laws or guidelines. They do whatever the fuck they want. So they'll work something out. But they're not just gonna hand it over to a candidate that's gonna lose to Trump, because they already got that. They already got that in Joe. Why go through all this shit to put a person in there that's probably gonna be worse than Joe, like Kamala? So maybe we'll get a big mic at the convention. Who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do me a favor, like and share this episode. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you ring the notification bell. That way you'll be notified of any future episodes of the Midnight Manifest. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your midnight.
Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a ever-loving light on me.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.